What if I told you the money you send overseas takes 5 days to arrive? What if I told you banks are locking up trillions of your dollars doing absolutely nothing? And what if I told you there is already a technology that does the same job in 4 seconds? Don't stress. Don't overthink it. Your brother Charlie is here to explain everything. So let's talk about the biggest story in crypto right now. And most people have no idea what is actually happening. $5 trillion. Every single day, that is how much money moves through SWIFT. Not in a month, not in a year. Every single day, SWIFT connects over 11,000 banks across more than 200 countries. It has been the backbone of global finance for 50 years. When your company sends money overseas, when governments settle payments, SWIFT is the road that money travels on. But here is the uncomfortable truth. That road is broken. A cross-border SWIFT transfer takes 1 to 5 business days to settle. Fees run between $20 and $50. And banks around the world have to lock up billions in pre-funded accounts just to keep the whole system moving. Your money, sitting completely idle, doing absolutely nothing, just waiting. Now compare that to XRP. For seconds, fraction of a cent, no pre-funding required. The sender converts their currency into XRP. It crosses the ledger in seconds. It converts to the recipient currency on the other side. Done. The technology gap between SWIFT and XRP is not small. It is generational. And right now something massive is happening underneath the surface. On April 7, at the XRP Tokyo 2026 conference, Japanese banks presented live pilot data. Real banks, real payments, real results. Cross-border payments using XRP settled 60% cheaper than SWIFT. In under 4 seconds, SBI Holdings was there. Mitsubishi UFJ was there. This was not a white paper. This was live data on a stage in front of everyone. And Ripple did not stop there. They added 12 new on-demand liquidity currency pairs. Every payment running through those corridors creates real demand for XRP. Not speculation. Actual transactional demand. Now here is something that dropped just days ago. On April 15, Ripple and Kyobo Life Insurance announced a partnership to test tokenized government bond settlement in South Korea. They are aiming to cut settlement time to near real time. And on that same day, Societe Generale launched their Euro stablecoin directly on the XRP ledger. A major European bank choosing XRP ledger. That is not a small thing. And on April 16, the SEC scheduled a roundtable to discuss the Clarity Act. This is the landmark crypto bill that could open XRP-based payment rails to U.S. banks and institutions. What started in Tokyo could become the global standard. But wait, SWIFT just announced the biggest overhaul to their payments infrastructure in years. Over 50 banks, 25-plus corridors going live by mid-2026. And guess what? At least 30 of those 50 banks already have ties to Ripple, Santander, HSBC, Deutsche Bank, Standard Chartered, JPMorgan, all of them inside both systems at the same time. SWIFT did not mention Ripple once. But those banks are not choosing one over the other. They are building with both. And that tells you everything. Now here is the most important thing. SWIFT is not the enemy. SWIFT is the opportunity. Here is why. SWIFT is a messaging system. It tells banks that a payment is coming, but it does not actually move the money. The settlement, the actual movement of value, happens separately through slow correspondent banking networks. And that settlement layer is exactly where XRP fits. SWIFT handles the communication. XRP handles the liquidity. That is not competition. That is partnership. Now Charlie always keeps it real. XRP has dropped significantly from its January 2026 highs. Supply pressure from Ripple's monthly escrow releases is real. Standard Chartered recently revised their year-end target down to $2.80 due to macro headwinds. These are facts. But here is what those facts do not tell you. Ripple has acquired Hidden Road, a firm processing $12.5 trillion in annual payment flows. 6 live spot XRP ETFs are operating in the market. Japan alone put $21.7 billion into XRP, making it the largest national XRP market on Earth. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse has stated that the goal is to capture 14% of SWIFT daily volume. That equals roughly $700 billion per day flowing through Ripple infrastructure. I am not telling you that is guaranteed. I am telling you to understand the scale of what is being targeted, because infrastructure does not announce itself in the price today. It announces itself later, when the volume follows the pipes that were already put in place. XRP is the settlement engine underneath. Tokyo proved it works. South Korea is testing it. Europe is joining. And the Clarity Act roundtable just happened yesterday. The story is not over. It is being built. Right now. In real time. Disclaimer: I am not a financial advisor. Crypto is volatile. You can lose money. The 14% SWIFT target is a goal, not a guarantee. This is for education only. Do your own research. If your brother Charlie helped you see the bigger picture today, hit that subscribe button. Share this with one person. And drop a comment. Do you think XRP and SWIFT are heading toward full integration? Let me know below. Peace out.